Just the way Puff is down on his luck and 50's kicking a man when he's down.
God is gonna.
If 50 ever luck turn up on 50, you know, that you got to be careful what you put out.
I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated. So
Those aren't the type of parties that I go to. I don't frequent those type of parties, and even if I go, like I said, been doing Diddy parties for 15 years, and I must say you never let me down, Puff. Ain't no party like a Diddy party.
This Marlon Wayans and 50 Cent situation escalated from a little side comment to a full-on brawl. And every hour there's a new twist and more dark stuff getting exposed. It all started with Marlon giving his opinion on 50's Diddy documentary. But 50 wasn't having it. And now both of them are throwing shots, warning each other, and dragging up old history that a lot of people forgot about. On one side, you have Marlon questioning 50's motives and saying he's the wrong messenger to be calling out another man on DV. But then you have 50 blasting Marlon on social media like he always does and pulling out receipts of Marlon getting down and dirty with Diddy. And now Marlon is backtracking a little bit because he has a lot to lose if his history with Diddy gets out.
I'm not here defending Diddy. So please look at the whole clip that I did and then look what happens with the narrative. And that's what I'm telling you. Y'all people don't be sheep.
So when Marlon went on the Cruise Show podcast, he was asked to give his take on 50 Cent's documentary, Sean Combs' The Reckoning. So Marlon said he still hasn't seen the documentary and isn't sure if he wants to because he doesn't feel it's fair to keep throwing Diddy under the bus.
The Diddy documentary?
Eventually, but you know, I look, man, I'm not gonna keep throwing the dude under the bus, man, and serving time in prison. You know, I know Diddy, I know his kids. You know, it must be hard for them. You know what I mean? At a point, you know what I'm saying, like on a human level, I just go, all right, man, we did it. I'm Diddy'd out. We Diddy'd it. We Diddy'd it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, look, how much more he's already incarcerated. How much further under the bus do you throw, man, right now?
Now notice how Marlon said he knows Diddy and his kids. But when Jay Cruz pointed this out, Marlon quickly shut it down, claiming he's actually not that close to Diddy.
Closer to it than people realize, I think.
And we ain't that close.
Not close. Say that into the camera.
We ain't baby all close.
Nah, you stupid.
But yo, look, Puff is
Nah. You working with
I've
Pac?
known Puff for 30 years.
You saw Big before he passed?
Yeah.
Bro, so you're close. And Jack, what were you saying about that?
I went to college with Puff.
Hang on. What were you saying?
I knew Diddy when he was Puffy.
Okay.
And since Marlon also knew Tupac, they asked him to comment on the allegations that Diddy had something to do with both Tupac and Biggie's deaths. But that's when Marlon seemingly threw shade at 50 Cent, implying that he manipulated the narrative because he wanted to make a hit piece on Diddy.
There was insinuations of, you know, that Diddy possibly had something to do with both Tupac and Biggie. And, you know.
Who's telling the story, right? You can skew.
People very close to the situation.
But you can skew. You can create any narrative as a producer and as a director and as a storyteller. I can create a narrative. I could be like, you know what?
You have.
I could create a narrative.
Well, we see it all the time in reality shows. Like, reality
right.
shows,
Yeah,
that's how you write a
narrative.
character.
It doesn't mean it's true.
Marlon then went on to say that this is all about 50's personal issues with Diddy. And he doubled down on his comments about kicking a man when he's down. And he even warned 50 that he will get his karma.
Beef, it's personal. It's between.
People are saying 50's wrong for doing it, but 50's right for doing it. It's divided.
It's between him and Puff. And before it's between him and Puff, it's between both of them and God. Just the way Puff is down on his luck and 50's kicking a man when he's down.
God is gonna.
If 50 ever luck turn up on 50, you know, that you got to be careful what you put out. There's a karma to every action that you do.
You think we'll see that day?
Huh?
You think we'll see that day?
Now here's where the whole thing blew up. Most fans weren't feeling Marlon's response because he called out 50 for being biased because of his beef with Diddy. But the same thing can be said for Marlon. He admitted he's close to Diddy and his kids, so he's biased too. A lot of people also took issue with Marlon saying that Diddy is down on his luck. Down on his luck makes it sound like life just randomly hit him with some bad cards. That's not what's happening. Diddy is facing consequences for serious crimes. And then there's this whole let's not kick a man while he's down. How come Marlon had had nothing to say about Diddy literally kicking Cassie while she was down. And it's not just Cassie. Diddy has been kicking people while they're down for 30 years. And then another thing, while we're on the subject of hypocrisy, didn't Marlon put out his comedy show on Will, Jada, and Chris Rock? Wasn't that also kicking people while they're down? So yeah, if 50 is the wrong messenger to talk about Diddy, well, so was Marlon. And let's not forget that Marlon previously admitted on Club Shay Shay that he went to Diddy parties, although he of course claimed he left early.
Marlon, you been to the Hollywood party. What's going on at these Hollywood parties?
I left early.
Because people think that.
I've been to plenty Diddy parties. I left early. I swear to you, I've never seen
the stuff that they claim to be going on.
I never seen it. I never, those aren't the type of parties that I go to. I don't frequent those type of parties. And even if I go, like I said, I've never seen any of this. I'm like, when I hear about it, when did that happen?
Yes.
At what time did this go down? Because I was there till 3:30. You mean 3:32? So they waited for me to leave? Like, all right, good. That Wayans nigga's gone. He talked too much. Those parties like that. I've been to parties, but like I said, I never saw nothing. I'd be so surprised when I hear certain things. Like, that happened?
Yeah. Where was I when that happened?
Exactly.
But it's funny how all these celebs who were close to Diddy all claim they never saw anything weird because they left early. Well, how did they all know when to leave early? You had to have stayed long at least once. Now let's talk about 50 Cent's response, because you already know he wasn't gonna let Marlon have the last word. First, 50 hopped on IG and shared that clip of Marlon on Club Shay Shay talking about Diddy's parties, followed by photos of Marlon and Diddy, as well as Marlon's old tweet from 2009 where he wrote, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party." Well, this clearly touched a nerve with Marlon, because he went and made an AI video of 50 Cent and Diddy in a bathtub and wrote in the caption, "Just for the record, bro, let's correct the narratives, Curtis. Rub-a-dub-dub, stop." And then Marlon shared another AI photo showing 50 Cent on the poster for the movie 12 Years a Slave. What's crazy is that even after his own followers told him he needs to stop because he can't win this war, Marlon doubled down and kept poking the bear. He shared this photo of 50 Cent from a music video and wrote, "Where you get all that baby oil from, Curtis? Many men, many men rub oil upon me. Go smoke a Liga Tridente and chill, bruh." But y'all, Marlon still wasn't done. He shared another photo with 50 and wrote this long caption roasting his appearance. He wrote, "Curtis, today we're gonna focus on your ugly." Where shall I start? Such much ugly to choose from. It's a problem, sir. How you ugly in a suit? You may want to lay off them roids. Oh, smashing machinette. That button is struggling to keep your fit fat behind in that suit. One deep breath and pow. Yo fat buff popping out that ish like biscuits. Exhale, champ. Buddy, he rocking an Easter suit with a Halloween face. Everyone in the hood is scared of that except that little funny skinny dude. Now, if you're cringing at Marlon's response, you're not the only one. A lot of people jumped in the comments to say this is just sad and embarrassing. Sharing AI photos, talking about 50's appearance, and all that for what? For Diddy? Going so hard at 50 over a documentary Marlon didn't even watch is crazy, and you can't help but feel he has something to hide. Well, that's when 50 stepped in and pulled out more receipts. 50 went and found this old photo shoot Marlon did with the rainbow thing, and he wrote in the caption, "Diddy got this fool trying to get at me. LOL. No AI. That's your boy vibe. Keep my name out your mouth." By the way, 50 is telling the truth. These photos are not AI. They're from a real photo shoot Marlon did for Pride in 2024 to show support for his transgender son and the LGBTQ+ community. Marlon shared the photos on his Instagram and wrote in the caption, "Happy Pride to all my LGBTQ+ peoples. P.S. I'm straight. Well, according to my child, cisgender male. I just love and support my peoples." But get this, that post has now been deleted from Marlon's IG, which is kind of weird because he claimed he was just supporting his son. So why did he remove the photos? And see, this is exactly why people need to stop provoking 50. He's always gonna dig up receipts that everyone else forgot. And to think that none of this would have happened had Marlon simply said he hadn't seen the documentary yet and left it at that. But Marlon is still not backing down. He jumped right back online to set the record straight after fans accused him of defending Diddy. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. Marlon's point was pretty simple. The messenger matters. If someone with their own problematic history is the one delivering the message, people have the right to question why they're speaking up and what they're trying to get out of it. And at this point, fans are still split because some are saying Marlon kind of has a point, just like Ja Rule, who also called out 50 and said he doesn't actually care about victims. See, 50's got a history of allegations involving women, and while most of them didn't stick legally, a lot of people feel like 50 is being a hypocrite. There are old incidents with exes, claims of aggressive behavior, and even stories like that house fire with his son and ex. Back in 2008, the house where 50's baby mama Shaniqua Tompkins and their son were living caught fire. 6 people were treated for smoke inhalation, and Shaniqua publicly accused 50 of being involved. The police investigated, and the cause was officially labeled suspicious, and 50 denied any involvement. And it's important to mention he was never charged and never named as a suspect. And then there was also that incident involving 50 and Tatted Up Holly. Back in the mid-2010s, 50 and Holly, who was a model and appeared in music videos, had a social media feud that got pretty ugly. Holly publicly accused him of mistreating her. She called him a manipulating woman and claimed to have photos of him putting his hands on her. Now, 50 first denied the allegations, but he later issued a public apology to Holly, calling her a good person and a great friend. And a lot of fans took this as 50 trying to shut down the conversation because he knew Holly was telling the truth. Because we all know 50 doesn't apologize to anyone, especially publicly. So this definitely felt out of character for him. So you've got this strange situation. The messenger is definitely not a saint, but at the same time, his message is not wrong. Some fans see 50 as brave and honest, while others see him as the pot calling the kettle black. And then you also have a lot of people saying that none of these men have any moral high ground to stand on, and it's all about their egos and personal beefs. One man commented, "Marlon, 50, and Ja Rule don't give an F about the victims. Let's call a spade a spade." But being more upset that 50 made the doc than the crimes committed, that's why folks are upset. And someone else added, "I thought this documentary was supposed to help the victims. Instead, it has turned to internet beefs and fodder. Everything isn't funny." And this person has a point, because back in 2023, when 50 first announced he was making a documentary, he publicly claimed all proceeds would go to victims of DV. But now that the doc is out, not a peep from him about that. So that's also something to think about. But let me know how you feel about all this drama. Do you think Marlon has a point about 50's documentary? Drop your comments below and don't miss this next video.